It is a distinct privilege to serve as your guide today, as we embark on a crucial journey, one that will illuminate the complex landscape of diabetes management, specifically tailored for you, our esteemed audience aged 40 and beyond. You have lived enough life to understand that experience often breeds wisdom, yet it can also, paradoxically, entrench certain beliefs that may no longer serve your best interests, particularly concerning your health. Have you ever paused to consider the sheer volume of information, and indeed misinformation, that inundates our daily lives? For individuals managing diabetes, this deluge is not merely an inconvenience. It can be a significant impediment to optimal health outcomes. For those of you who have navigated this condition for years, or perhaps have recently received a diagnosis, the challenge of discerning fact from fiction is acutely felt. Your demographic, in particular, often grapples with a unique set of long-term considerations, where the impact of early missteps or persistent adherence to fallacies can cascade into more significant complications down the line. It's a critical juncture where precise, scientifically validated understanding becomes paramount. Throughout this program, we will systematically dismantle the pervasive myths that frequently cloud the understanding of diabetes, replacing them with undeniable, evidence-based truths. Our objective is to empower you with a clearer, scientifically accurate comprehension of your condition, enabling you to make informed decisions that genuinely optimize your management strategy. We will delve into areas such as insulin therapy, the nuanced role of carbohydrate intake, and the profound, often underestimated, impact of various lifestyle choices. Our analysis will be rigorous, grounded in current medical consensus, yet presented in a manner that respects your intelligence and your lived experience. Let us begin by addressing one of the most deeply ingrained and, frankly, detrimental myths that permeates discussions around diabetes: the notion that insulin therapy signifies a failure in self-management, or worse, that it heralds the inevitable progression to a more severe, unmanageable stage of the disease. You may have heard whispers, perhaps from well-meaning friends or even outdated online sources, suggesting that once you start insulin, there's no turning back, or that it's a desperate last resort. Perhaps you've even harbored a personal apprehension, viewing insulin as a symbol of surrender. Is this feeling familiar to you? Have you ever felt a pang of anxiety at the mere mention of insulin injections, associating them with a loss of control or a definitive worsening of your condition? This perception, while emotionally understandable, is fundamentally flawed and demonstrably harmful. From a physiological standpoint, type 2 diabetes, particularly in individuals aged 40 and above, often involves a progressive decline in pancreatic beta cell function over time. This means that your body's natural ability to produce insulin, the hormone essential for regulating blood glucose, gradually diminishes. Initially, lifestyle modifications and oral medications might suffice to stimulate your existing insulin production or improve your body's sensitivity to it. However, as this beta cell function continues to decline, which is a natural biological progression for many, your body simply may not be able to produce enough insulin to maintain healthy blood glucose levels, regardless of your dietary discipline or exercise regimen. Consider insulin therapy not as a punitive measure or an admission of defeat, but rather as a highly effective, often essential, and entirely natural hormone replacement. It is a powerful tool designed to supplement your body's declining capacity, ensuring your cells receive the glucose they need for energy while keeping your blood sugar within a healthy range. Delaying insulin therapy due to these unfounded fears can lead to prolonged periods of hyperglycemia, which, as you know, significantly increases the risk of microvascular and microvascular complications, conditions affecting your eyes, kidneys, nerves, and cardiovascular system. For your age group, where these long-term complications can be particularly impactful on quality of life and longevity, timely and appropriate insulin initiation can be a critical intervention, not a last resort. In essence, embracing insulin when medically indicated is a proactive, intelligent step towards preserving your health, protecting your organs, and maintaining your vitality. It is a testament to your commitment to effective diabetes management, not a failure. It allows your body to function more optimally, reducing the chronic stress that elevated blood glucose places on your systems. Your healthcare provider, guided by your specific physiological needs and progression of your condition, will recommend insulin therapy when it offers the most significant benefit. It is a decision rooted in science and clinical necessity, not in personal failing. Now, as we move forward, we will continue to dissect other common misconceptions that could be inadvertently steering your management off course. But before we explore the intricate relationship between carbohydrates and diabetes, ponder this. If a simple, scientifically proven intervention could significantly improve your long-term health and prevent debilitating complications, would you allow historical misconceptions to stand in your way? The answers, I believe, are clearer than you might think. Now, let us turn our attention to another deeply entrenched belief, one that has, perhaps, caused you considerable anxiety and confusion over the years. The pervasive notion that all carbohydrates are your enemy, a dietary villain to be meticulously avoided at all costs if you live with diabetes. You may have found yourself standing in the grocery aisle, meticulously scrutinizing labels, a sense of dread accompanying every carbohydrate gram listed. Have you ever felt that profound sense of guilt after consuming a seemingly innocuous piece of fruit or a modest portion of whole-grain bread, convinced you had somehow failed in your management? This is a sentiment we frequently encounter among individuals in your age bracket, where decades of evolving and often conflicting dietary advice have created a landscape of fear rather than informed choice. This widespread fear, while understandable given the direct impact carbohydrates have on blood glucose, often stems from an oversimplified and, frankly, inaccurate understanding of their role in your diet and overall health. To clarify, let us reframe our perspectives. Carbohydrates are not inherently bad. They are, in fact, your body's primary and most readily available source of energy. Imagine your body as a sophisticated engine. Just as an engine requires fuel to run efficiently, your cells, your muscles, and especially your brain rely on glucose derived from carbohydrates to function optimally throughout your day. The challenge, then, is not elimination, but rather discerning which carbohydrates serve you best and in what quantity. Consider the vast spectrum of carbohydrates available to us. On one end, you have highly refined, simple carbohydrates. Think sugary drinks, white bread, pastries. These are rapidly digested, leading to a swift and often dramatic surge in blood glucose. Your body processes them quickly, like dry kindling igniting a fire, providing a burst of energy that dissipates just as fast, often leaving you feeling sluggish and craving more. This rapid fluctuation is precisely what we aim to minimize in diabetes management. But then, on the other end, we have complex carbohydrates, the fiber-rich whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and many fruits. These are digested slowly, providing a sustained release of glucose into your bloodstream, much like a slow-burning log providing steady warmth. They offer not just energy, but also essential vitamins, minerals, and crucial dietary fiber, which plays a vital role in digestive health, satiety, and even further helps to moderate blood sugar responses. For those of you aged 40 and above, maintaining consistent energy levels, supporting cardiovascular health, and ensuring adequate nutrient intake are paramount. An overly restrictive carbohydrate elimination diet, while potentially yielding short-term blood sugar reductions, can be incredibly difficult to sustain long-term. More importantly, it can deprive your body of essential nutrients, lead to fatigue, impact your mood, and potentially even exacerbate other health conditions. Have you ever felt the mental fog or the lack of physical stamina that can accompany severely restricted eating patterns? This is often your body signaling a deficiency in its preferred fuel source. Our objective, therefore, is to empower you with the knowledge to make discerning choices. It's about choosing nutrient-dense carbohydrates that support your overall health, rather than simply spiking your blood sugar. It's about understanding portion sizes and the impact of combining carbohydrates with proteins and healthy fats to further stabilize glucose responses. It means embracing the vibrant colors of a varied plate of vegetables, the satisfying texture of whole grains, and the natural sweetness of fruits, all in moderation and tailored to your individual needs and activity levels. This is a nuanced approach, far removed from the blanket condemnation of an entire food group. So, when you next approach your meal, rather than viewing carbohydrates as an enemy, consider them as a diverse group of allies. Your task is to select the most beneficial allies for your body, ensuring they work with you, not against you, in maintaining stable blood glucose and sustained energy. Do you now perceive the simple yet profound difference between a fear-driven avoidance and an informed, strategic selection? This shift in perspective is not merely theoretical. It can dramatically enhance your quality of life and the long-term efficacy of your diabetes management. As we continue our exploration, we will next confront another deeply rooted misconception: the idea that living with diabetes demands an existence devoid of pleasure, a life of endless deprivation. But what if I told you that effective management and genuine enjoyment of life are not mutually exclusive, but rather intrinsically linked? Now, let us confront another deeply rooted misconception, one that, perhaps more than any other, has cast a long shadow over your perception of living with diabetes. The idea that effective management necessitates an existence devoid of pleasure, a life of endless deprivation. You may find yourself nodding in agreement, a subtle feeling of resignation perhaps stirring within you. Have you ever felt that living with diabetes means permanently saying goodbye to your favorite foods, to spontaneous celebrations, or to the simple, everyday joys that once colored your life? Perhaps you've experienced the pang of longing as you watch others indulge, while you meticulously adhere to what feels like an ever-shrinking list of permissible choices. This feeling, this sense of loss and restriction, is incredibly common, particularly for those of you in your age group who have spent decades cultivating certain habits and enjoying particular culinary traditions. This pervasive belief that joy must be sacrificed for health is not only disheartening but, fundamentally, a significant barrier to sustainable diabetes management. From a psychological and physiological perspective, chronic deprivation is counterproductive. Imagine for a moment the relentless mental burden of constantly denying yourself, of perpetually feeling less than or different at social gatherings. This sustained state of internal conflict, this ongoing battle against your own desires, can lead to increased stress hormones, which, as you know, can directly impact your blood glucose levels. Furthermore, such extreme restriction often culminates in what we call rebound overeating or burnout, where the sheer exhaustion of constant denial leads to episodes of uncontrolled indulgence, often followed by intense guilt and frustration. This cycle is far more detrimental than a well-planned, moderate approach. Let us reframe this perspective, transforming it from one of rigid prohibition to one of informed liberation. Modern diabetes management is not about eradicating pleasure. It is about cultivating a new, more conscious relationship with the sources of your enjoyment, especially food and social activities. It's about understanding that genuine enjoyment can coexist with optimal health, often enhancing it. Consider the profound difference between a blanket ban and a strategic, measured indulgence. Does enjoying a small, carefully chosen slice of birthday cake with loved ones, perhaps after a brisk walk, truly derail your entire management plan? Or does the joy and connection experienced in that moment, followed by a return to your regular healthy routine, actually contribute to your overall well-being and adherence? The key, for you, is to integrate principles of balance, portion control, and mindful consumption into your life. This isn't about giving up your grandmother's cherished recipe entirely. It's about perhaps adjusting the ingredients slightly, enjoying a smaller portion, or balancing it with a protein and fiber-rich meal earlier in the day. It's about recognizing that the occasional treat, when planned and accounted for, can be a powerful psychological tool, preventing the very feelings of deprivation that lead to uncontrolled cravings. Have you ever considered how much more satisfying a small, truly savored piece of chocolate can be, compared to mindlessly consuming an entire bar out of frustration? This thoughtful approach transforms an act of perceived weakness into an act of empowered choice. Moreover, true enjoyment extends far beyond just food. It encompasses the vitality that comes from regular, enjoyable physical activity. Perhaps a morning walk in your local park, a swim, or even dancing to your favorite music. It includes the mental clarity and emotional resilience fostered by adequate sleep and stress management techniques. For individuals in your age bracket, maintaining social connections, pursuing hobbies, and nurturing a sense of purpose are not mere luxuries. They are fundamental pillars of holistic health. An effective diabetes management plan supports these aspects of your life. It does not diminish them. It allows you to participate fully, to engage with life's pleasures, but with a deeper understanding of how these experiences interact with your physical well-being. So, when you next encounter a situation that historically would have triggered feelings of deprivation or fear, pause. Ask yourself, How can I approach this situation in a way that respects my health goals, yet still allows for genuine enjoyment and connection? The answer, more often than not, lies not in abstinence, but in informed moderation, in strategic planning, and in a profound appreciation for the power of balance. You are not destined for a life of joyless restriction. You are empowered to curate a life rich in both health and happiness. As we conclude this segment, having dismantled the myth that diabetes demands a joyless existence, we now turn our focus to another critical area. What if I told you that your daily habits, beyond what you eat or the medications you take, hold an extraordinary, often underestimated, power to profoundly influence your diabetes management and overall health? The answers, as we will explore, might surprise you, revealing a path to even greater well-being. Now, let us turn our attention to that extraordinary, often underestimated, power that profoundly influences your diabetes management and overall health, the realm of your daily habits. Extending far beyond the food you eat or the medications you take, you have likely experienced the undeniable impact of diet and pharmaceuticals, but have you ever truly considered the subtle yet significant ways in which your daily routines, your moments of rest, or your responses to life's pressures are quietly shaping your physiological landscape? For those of you in your prime, aged 40 and beyond, these seemingly minor elements accumulate over time, either fortifying your health or insidiously undermining your best efforts. Consider, for instance, the profound importance of sleep. In our fast-paced world, adequate rest is often the first casualty of a demanding schedule, dismissed as a luxury rather than a biological necessity. But for you, managing diabetes, this oversight carries a significant physiological cost. When you consistently deprive your body of sufficient, restorative sleep, typically 7 to 9 hours for adults, you disrupt a delicate hormonal balance. Your body releases more cortisol, a stress hormone, and norepinephrine, both of which can directly elevate blood glucose levels by promoting glucose production in the liver and reducing insulin sensitivity in your cells. Simultaneously, poor sleep can impair the function of ghrelin and leptin, hormones that regulate hunger and satiety, potentially leading to increased cravings for high-carbohydrate foods and subsequent overeating. Have you ever noticed that on days following a restless night, your blood sugar seems more erratic, or your willpower to make healthy choices feels significantly diminished? This is not merely anecdotal. It is your body's direct physiological response to sleep deprivation, actively working against your diabetes management goals. Prioritizing consistent quality sleep is not just about feeling refreshed. It is a critical, often overlooked, pillar of glycemic control. Next, let us delve into the pervasive influence of stress. In your life's journey, you have undoubtedly encountered various forms of stress, from professional pressures to personal anxieties. While acute stress is a natural, protective response, chronic stress, particularly for individuals with diabetes, is a silent adversary. When your body perceives stress, it activates the fight or flight response, releasing a cascade of hormones, again cortisol, but also adrenaline and noradrenaline. These hormones prepare your body for immediate action by mobilizing glucose from your liver and muscles into your bloodstream, providing quick energy. While beneficial in a true emergency, in the context of chronic psychological stress, this leads to persistently elevated blood glucose levels. If your body is already struggling with insulin resistance or insufficient insulin production, this additional glucose surge compounds the challenge, making it exceedingly difficult to maintain target blood sugar ranges. Have you ever observed a direct correlation between periods of high stress in your life and an inexplicable rise in your glucose readings, even when your diet and medication regimen remain consistent? Developing effective stress management techniques, whether through mindfulness practices, deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies that bring you joy, is not a soft skill. It is a hard science, a direct intervention in your diabetes management strategy. Finally, let's reevaluate physical activity, moving beyond structured exercise to embrace consistent, mindful movement throughout your day. While dedicated workouts are invaluable, the cumulative effect of reducing sedentary time and incorporating incidental movement can be profoundly impactful. For individuals in your age group, prolonged sitting has been linked to increased insulin resistance and higher risks of cardiovascular disease. Simply breaking up long periods of sitting with short walks, standing while talking on the phone, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator can significantly improve muscle glucose uptake, enhance insulin sensitivity, and boost your metabolism. Do you often find yourself glued to your desk or sofa for hours on end, only to feel stiff and less energetic? Your body, especially your muscles, thrives on movement. Every small action contributes to a more active, metabolically healthier state, making your cells more responsive to insulin and more efficient at utilizing glucose. This isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about integrating movement into the fabric of your daily existence, transforming it from a chore into a natural, life-affirming rhythm. In essence, these daily habits, your sleep patterns, your stress responses, your levels of physical activity, are not peripheral concerns. They are fundamental determinants of your metabolic health, intricately woven into the complex tapestry of diabetes management. Ignoring them is akin to meticulously tending to one part of a garden while neglecting the soil itself. By consciously cultivating these aspects of your life, you are not just managing symptoms. You are addressing the underlying physiological mechanisms that govern your condition, fostering an environment where your body can thrive. As we conclude this journey, remember this: accurate knowledge is not merely information. It is power. The myths we have dismantled and the truths we have illuminated are designed to empower you to take precise, informed action. Your diabetes journey is not one of inevitable decline or joyless restriction, but one of continuous learning, adaptation, and empowerment. You possess the capacity to make choices, daily choices that profoundly influence your health, your vitality, and your overall quality of life. Embrace this holistic perspective, for it is within your grasp to navigate this condition not just effectively, but with confidence, resilience, and a profound sense of well-being.